Happy Snow Day, Grace. I know that this is beyond anybody's planning in terms of how we envisioned our 21 days of prayer and fasting to come to a close. But the good news is that it's not a surprise to God. And I think somehow it's a very fitting way to end this season in which we've been saying, hey, well, let's make room for God to come in. Let's slow down. Let's remove distractions. Let's seek him. Let's listen for him. What better way actually to do that with the potential of a snow day? This idea that like the world actually just slows down. It may not be that way in your home right now, but take a moment if you can, look out the window, look and see how everything just kind of comes to a standstill. Isn't that a picture of what we were trying to do in our inner life, with our attention, in our world? Whether we made room by saying no to social media, meals, maybe some other sort of distractions or luxuries, that's what this 21 days has been about. And so we didn't want to just let this period close without a fitting way to acknowledge what God has done, to encourage one another, that God is going to continue to do his work. He's going to continue to come to us, invite us to walk with him, making us more like Jesus, well beyond even just the 21 days. So I'm here with our teaching team, Rich and Thomas. We wanted to just share a little bit about how we've experienced the 21 days, perhaps as a way of encouraging you, but also as a way for us to begin to gather some of these community stories and the seeds around what God has been doing. So thanks, guys, for making the time really in a last-minute moment here to try to give a gift to the church. I do think that God will do that. Let's just go straight into it from some of the two questions that I've been writing about in Poema and been just trying to disseminate for the church. The first question, how has God come to you over these past 21 days? And even related to that, how has God drawn you deeper into his love? Rich, What have you got for us? What can you share?
Yeah. It's a lot of that is from even what I shared on Sunday whenever I had the opportunity to speak. Like I really felt like that God was showing me exactly what he said to Martha in Luke chapter 10, that I have been worried, I have been distracted by many things. And even as I was reflecting on that, I would say absolutely, that is really what has been going on. And so as I was thinking about that, I feel like, as pastors, one of our most important jobs as pastors is to help people to be able to pay attention to what God is doing in their lives. And as a pastor, I think what I was coming to realize over these past 21 days is that I was having trouble paying attention to what God was doing in my own life because I was worried and I was distracted by so many of these other things. And if I was having trouble doing that, then there was no way that I was going to be able to help other people do that. And so that was just one of the things that God revealed to me. And even as I just reflected on that story in Luke 10, just that reminder that, the remedy to that was to just sit at Jesus' feet and just pay attention to him. And I just loved how he when he spoke to Martha, he said that Mary has chosen the good portion. And so that's how I feel like if God is drawing me into his love, it's because he's saying, I have a better portion for you. I have something that's better for you. I have a good portion. And if you choose this, it's not going to be taken from you. It's something that's so much better than being distracted by this or being worried about that. Just think about my promises. Think about who I am. Think about all that I have to offer to you, and just pay attention to that. And that's been really, really good for me. Just really refreshing. And I feel like the more that I've just let that soak into my own life, it's just been so good. Wow. So good. And I feel like just the Lord has met me there, and he's just spoken truth into me there. And as I've paid attention to that, I think just even since that time, I've had opportunities to just help other people and talk with them and say, hey, what is the Lord teaching you? How is he working in you? And it's been good.
It reminds me of I've got a quote in my office by Eugene Peterson, And it's like, he's just basically saying the kind of pastor he wants to be, and he wants to be a pastor who helps you pay attention.
Yeah, yep.
And he says, if I'm hurried and distracted, I can't do that.
Can't do that.
Right?
Yep.
And so, which is quite encouraging, because, Rich, I think everybody at Grace would be like, hey, he's one of the most attentive people. Like, when we talk to you, I feel like I'm the only person in the room. So for the Lord to continue to shape and form that in you, I feel like that's a real gift. Yeah. How about you, Thomas? How has God been coming to you in this 21 days and drawing you deeper into his love?
It was a little bit tricky. It was kind of like I don't know if you remember during COVID where we had to film serving communion. And I had to have the experience of taking communion while watching me serve communion. That's what this was kind of a little bit of. It was a little difficult at first, is because the process of writing it and now actually sitting in it.
Yeah.
So it took me a second to be able to not overthink, hey, I wish I would have did this, or maybe I could have did this differently. And I think the blessing that God gave me was not having to preach in January. Because
wow, okay.
I was able to, one of the things that God was able to speak directly to me that I felt a little bit insecure about was my doing wasn't being sustained by my being. And so this month gave me the opportunity to just slow down, not to have to study for preaching, not to have to write a manuscript, but to actually be in the Word, be with Jesus, and just slow down and it not be so much about what I need to accomplish, but who I am to him. And so it gave me an opportunity to be able to see how God views me through his eyes as his beloved son. And so that was how it started. It was like the slowing down to not have to accomplish something because Jesus has already accomplished it. The one who sustains me is the one who sustains the universe by the power of his word. And so that was sweet. And that's been slowly progressing for me, just to be able to acknowledge that he is not just God, but he is my God. And beyond anything else, that has been the most beautiful joy that I've experienced over the course of these 21 days.
Yeah, that's a really important phrase you said there, like that we could live in such a way that our doing for God is sustained by our being with God. So important.
Absolutely.
So important. For myself, on the 21 days, we were just talking at several pastors' meetings. The fasting part was really interesting this 21 days this year for me. In previous fasting seasons, I feel like I've had these like deep cravings, longings, these appetites that because they weren't being medicated or fed by meal or whatever, I just would be craving those things. I didn't really feel that sort of desperation for the stuff that I was saying no to. But that didn't come at the expense of longing for God. It was just kind of, there's a peace in there for me. And I was just kind of waiting for that craving to come. I was waiting for it to show its ugly head and for the Lord to do surgery on me. That really hasn't come. I will say this, though, as a family, I can't remember a year in which we've had more conversations around fasting with our children. And the part that came to me, I was like, wait a second, like, these guys are just going through the motions, right? And it really lit something in me, a fuse for me. You and I have talked about this, Rich, many times around just our hearts for our children to really long for Jesus. Not just walk with Jesus, but to long for him, to hunger for his word. And I think some of these conversations with fasting, very normal, very understandable, really got my longings actually turned towards longing for my children to long for God. Oh God, that they would want to know you, that they would want to really, really obey you and do your work. So that's been a big thing that the Lord's bringing to me. Drawing into his love, I was doing my normal kind of reading in Matthew, just a really close reading, just recently finished that. And so I was taking the 21 Days of Prayer journal, which, by the way, many of you have said, hey, thank you for that journal. Who wrote that journal? Well, ta-da, big reveal. Thomas wrote that journal. I was doing the journal as a midday pause. So I would do my time, silence, stillness in the morning, and then in the middle of the day, break away to just focus in on the journal entry and spend some time, and that was going very good. It was really helpful practices, but even just recently, the one on bearing with one another just really hit me. I mean, the question that the Lord just kept posing to me in this time was like, who do you need to bear with? Who are you not patient with, showing gentleness towards? I knew immediately who that was. And then the thought from myself was like, I need to bear with them because actually Lord, you bear with me so much.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how I was drawn into his love, really. Like, the Lord bears with my distractions. He bears with my waywardness. He bears with my He bears with my going through the motions.
Yep.
He bears with me. And that's just really, I really felt his love in a deep, deep way. How about for you, as you're listening to this, wherever you are? How has the Lord been coming to you? How have you been drawn into his love over these 21 days? Not in a final, conclusive way, but what has God been doing? We would love to hear your stories. And in fact, in the last 2 poemas I've been writing, and I put out a link to a form. Would you, as soon as we're done here, we're wrapping up right now, would you just go to the QR code that's gonna show up, use your device, and would you just take a few minutes, even if it's for your own reflection, about considering how did the Lord come to you? How is he coming to you? How have you been drawn into his love over these 21 days? I received one story from a gal, actually, who used to come to Grace, and it really was a blessing, real gift, even in this. Her name is Sarah. So Sarah, if you're watching this, we love you, we miss you. We're so grateful that you're continuing to walk with the Lord. Sarah lives in Croatia, and she has been following our worship gatherings. When she was going back to Croatia, she was really afraid, nervous about going back and not having any believers around her. And yet the Lord was doing this beautiful thing. So she wrote here, she says, so I wanted to let you know how I now have a group of people doing the 21 days prayer and fast in Croatia together over on our side of the world. 7 of us being a support, encouragement to each other, meeting each Sunday on FaceTime. We are a very Balkan crew as well, from all over. The loveliest thing, the loveliest people. So many lovely people come into my life since that May I left Grace. I am grateful for every single one, the believers and unbelievers now. And so, what does that do for you? Even as you hear that, as I hear that, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like the Lord is coming to our dear sister all across the pond. Amazing, amazing. We want to hear from you. As we close today, remember, church, that even on this snow day, as our neighborhoods come to a standstill, God is still at work. He's still coming to you beyond the 21 days. He's still inviting you to know him, to walk with him. Take the opportunity today. You might think, hey, the fast is over, and well, here's what's gonna happen. Your appetite, your body's gonna be like, now I can binge all the stuff I missed, or now I can go and shop, now I can eat, now I can just overstimulate myself.
Yep.
Maybe on this snow day, you resist that for just a little longer. Maybe you step outside for a moment and listen. I'm using this word carefully. Listen to the silence. Notice the inactivity, the stillness. Recognize that even in that, God is coming to you. And even as you've created that space over these 21 days, the Lord is at work. Maybe you go out and you shovel, and you're a blessing to, if there's sidewalks or driveways in your neighborhood, you go and you help somebody else shovel, and you let actually God come to them through you and your loving presence, and you're serving them in Jesus' name. Enjoy today. Enjoy the rest and peace that comes from God. Tomorrow has enough trouble of its own. And so let's receive what the Lord has for us in really, I'm praying, surprising and unique ways for you. We just wanted to close by just giving you each a blessing, a prayer for you that we're praying as this day unfolds and as we go into the rest of 2026. Take it to you, Rich.
Yeah, just my encouragement to you would be that if you felt at all over these past 21 days like the Lord has come to you, just remember that it was he who initiated that. That if you felt him speak to you, that he was the one that moved towards you first, that the Holy Spirit was the one that just was working in your heart, and that is the grace of God at work in your life. And if you have any desire to know God, any desire to continue to move toward Him, that's just evidence of God working in your life. And so you're paying attention to a God who is paying attention to you. And so just be encouraged by that.
That's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, and even in the paying attention to, there's a beauty and joy in knowing that we have a God who speaks, and that He speaks to us. And so my blessing to you is just to continue to enjoy knowing that God has designed you for a relationship with Him, so that He can speak directly to you, and you can listen, and then you can speak back. So continue to enjoy that communion, continue to allow to abound or to rest in God's abounding love, continue to allow His peace to rule your heart, continue to allow His word to dwell in you richly as you enjoy and grow closer and closer to Him. Yeah.
I'll just send you out here with a liturgy for the first snow. From this collection called Every Moment Holy. O Christ, King of snow, we bless you for bidding this blanket of white to cover us in a holy hush, that our hearts might be quieted at the sight, that we might sense the emptiness of canvas over which your Spirit broods, and upon which you would create and recreate our hearts in the image of the one whose word first spoke snow into existence. Remember who you are. Amen.